Welcome to episode 346 of the 2-Minute Warning. Today I'm looking at whether or not Justin Herbert can go on and win NFL MVP in 2021, his second year in the league. But before I get into that topic, I have a question for you Chargers fans and NFL fans in general. Who was the last Chargers player to win MVP and what year was it? Let me know the answer in the comments. If you do not know the answer, it is okay. Stay till the end of the video to find out. But getting into the topic, do I think Justin Herbert could win MVP next year? And the answer is 100% yes. Looking around the NFL, not just Justin Herbert specifically, Patrick Mahomes, his second year in the NFL, he won MVP. Lamar Jackson, his second year in the NFL, he won MVP. Kyler Murray, his second year in the NFL, did not win MVP, but he 100% took a big step from his rookie year to his second year, and that is what matters. You're seeing around the league, along with Josh Allen, even his third year in the NFL, and he is now in the MVP conversation. Didn't do too great in the second year compared to his third year, but it's normal to see now around the NFL for these young guys only being 1, 2, 3, 4 years in the league to be MVP conversationalists and actually win MVP. So it is not out of the ordinary for Justin Herbert to be in this type of topic and conversation heading into year 2. It's been done before, and he has the talent to make it done again. Now, what I think he will do it is a different conversation, just because it's not a matter of Justin Herbert's talent, if he can win MVP. It's a matter of who is surrounding him and if there's enough talent around him for him to put up the numbers and stats. But looking at his stats this year, 34 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, 3.4 touchdown to interception ratio as a rookie is very unheard of. Most rookie quarterbacks have a 2-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio, if not a 1-to-1. I believe Tua Tagovailoa had 11-to-5 touchdown to interception ratio. Justin Herbert just makes him look terrible when you consider that statistic. Yes, there's a lot more passing yards, QBR, so on and so forth. But just looking at that one ratio, it's a little oversimplifying, but it's a great indicator of what Justin Herbert can do. Is just a rookie, having not a great coach last year, having a bad offensive line last year, being a rookie quarterback, only playing 15 games, breaking all kinds of records in the passing touchdowns, total touchdowns, just short of Andrew Luck's passing yards, but still putting up, I believe, still putting up 4,300 passing yards. Justin Herbert has the type of talent already his rookie year, and I think heading into his second year, if the Chargers do things right, they can get him in the position to win MVP. What the Chargers really need right now is not only to win games, but also to help Justin Herbert's MVP case. It's an offensive line. They have some talent there, Trey Turner and Brian Bulaga, but they're paying them a little too much for them to get banged up a little too much. Obviously, that's not playing for them to get hurt, but you definitely want your money to be worth it, and at the moment, it is not. I hope in the first round this year of the NFL draft and a free agency, that's what they address more than ever. Protection of your quarterback. You don't want to see what happened to Joe Burrow in the Cincinnati Bengals, his injury because he wasn't protected, happened to Justin Herbert in the Los Angeles Chargers. That is a nightmare. No team wants that to happen to their quarterback, and I don't want to see it happen to anyone either. So I really want the Chargers to address what they need most, and that is, of course, protection for Justin Herbert right now. Yes, an extra weapon for him to throw to would be nice, but it's not like he doesn't have any guys to throw to. We see Keenan Allen. He might go down as the best Chargers receiver of all time. A little bold to say right now, but it's definitely in the realm of possibility. Mike Williams is a big target for him to throw to. Austin Eckler is amazing out of the backfield. To me, Justin Herbert and Austin Eckler duo is like a Drew Brees, Alvin Kamara. They just have great chemistry together, throwing it in short passes out the backfield. Joshua Kelly can hopefully step up the run game. And then Hunter Henry, of course, I think is a great safety blanket for Justin Herbert to throw to and look for in the red zone and tight coverages. Hunter Henry has great hands, but he will be a free agent. I hope the Chargers re-sign him, but if they don't, he is replaceable for sure. Maybe they'll draft Kyle Pitts in the draft. Well, I think the offensive lineman is the number one priority. Like I said, if come your pick in the first round draft, there's still loads of talent such as Jamar Chase or Jalen Waddle or Kyle Pitts right around your pick. It's going to be hard to pass that up just because it's such limited talent of these receivers in the draft. And I just think Kyle Pitts or Jamar Chase are just so special. I think it would be hard to pass up, especially if you already addressed offensive line and free agency, because we know free agency comes before the NFL draft. So we will get an idea by then if they can take the risk of drafting a Kyle Pitts over an offensive line such as like Rashawn Slater. That will give us an idea. But either way, looking at his MVP case, no matter what way they want to do it, through the draft, through free agency, in order for him to get those numbers, he needs protection. I'm not saying he needs the best offensive line in the league, but he just needs an extra second in the pocket to get the big plays, not only to increase his numbers, but just for the Chargers to win. This isn't more about, yes, this video is about MVP case, but these are just the typical things you have to do to build a winning team, and that's getting protection for your quarterback, getting him receivers to throw to. Not that he doesn't, but a little help would be needed. However, there is another side to this. Yes, Justin Herbert threw for 34 touchdowns this year as a rookie, and that is amazing. I would not be surprised if those numbers do not increase in year 2, and I'll tell you why, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. The Chargers this year, having Anthony Lynn as their head coach and a defense that was constantly banged up, not having Derwin James, he was always banged up, Casey Hayward banged up, Chris Harris Jr. is a little old, Melvin Ingram and Joey Bosa a little banged up here and there. That is, on paper, one of the best defenses in the NFL. However, their health doesn't allow them to stay on the field and be one of the best defenses in game because they're always hurt. So not having a good, healthy defense and not having a good coach, that Chargers team led to allowing a lot of other teams to put up a lot of points on them. Therefore, when the defense is giving up 28, 30, 35 points, Justin Herbert on the offense had to abandon the run game and force the ball down the field, pass it every play, throw it deep, make big plays. Not that that's a bad thing because he has the talent to do that, but that kind of is the reason he had such big numbers, because he was always constantly behind, always needed to throw the ball down the field, always needed to put up numbers to put his team in a winning position, which he was able to do successfully a lot of the time. But I'm just saying, heading into this year, when you get Brandon Staley, who's a defensive-minded guy, and you have a healthy team with your all-pro safety, Derwin James, Casey Hayward, Joey Bosa, Chris Harris Jr., when they're all healthy, this defense is going to take a big step forward and not allow so many points. They're going to go from allowing 30, 28 points to possibly 21, 20, 17, and therefore, on the offensive side, Justin Herbert might not have to throw the ball down the field. He's allowed to rely on the run game a little more, not have to force these big plays with Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. Of course, their big plays will be there, and of course, he will have great numbers. But I'm just saying, when you have a great defense, you don't have so much pressure on the offense to force the ball down the field and get those yards, and therefore that will affect his stats. But will that maybe hurt his MVP case? Yes, but if your defense is that good and Justin Herbert is that good to just win the game by a couple possessions and not force the ball down the field and put up 35, you're winning football games, and that is more important than winning MVP. I'd much rather make the playoffs than have my quarterback win MVP if I'm a Chargers fan and just an NFL fan in general. If you look at the 49ers this past year in 2019 when they went to the Super Bowl against the Kansas City Chiefs, that 49ers defense was the best in the league. They scored points themselves and stopped other offenses from scoring points. Therefore, on their offense side of the football, Jimmy Garoppolo didn't have to do a lot. He didn't have to throw 350 yards. He didn't have to throw 4 touchdowns a game. He was able to just hand the ball off, get a Raheem Mostert, and he has passed the ball at times. Of course, he's a quarterback, but he was not forced in the position to put up these huge statistical games. He was able to just win games by just 150 yards, 2 touchdowns, 250 yards, just simple games. And if Justin Herbert is in the position to do that, take it. Don't complain. I'd rather take that as my team. A great offense and an outstanding defense. Justin Herbert, we know, has talent, but if he's just not needed to throw 400 yards and don't force him to, I'm more worried about winning games than winning NFL MVP. And if the Chargers can figure that out, that's great for them. Therefore, that is a possibility why Justin Herbert's numbers can take a step back, because they're just not needed, which is a good thing because you're winning football games and making the playoffs. I think the Chargers will make the playoffs this year, but that's not guaranteed. Brandon Staley could be a bust. His defense could get unhealthy again. Anything is possible, but that is just one factor to consider. So basically, will he win it? It's going to be tough. Do I think he can? Of course, especially if he has similar numbers this year. Really no rookie's ever looked at as an MVP conversationalist, just because that's really unheard of. However, Justin Herbert did have MVP similar numbers. Josh Allen, he's pretty close to. Obviously, was like a step back, but still as a rookie, that was amazing to see. So I think year 2, he will definitely be in this conversation 100%. He's going to have the yards, he's going to have the touchdowns, and assuming he is the same guy as he was this year, there's no reason he won't be in it, especially with the Chargers getting better, giving him extra protection, an extra weapon to throw to. I do think he will be better, but for him to say he will win it is very tough to say because he's got Josh Allen emerging in the league. Patrick Mahomes is always a threat. Lamar Jackson's always a threat. Baker Mayfield is emerging himself. That's not even mentioning the AFC, where you got Aaron Rodgers, who's probably going to win MVP this year. You got Russell Wilson, might be looking for a comeback year. A lot of guys, maybe Deshaun Watson, whoever he goes, he could win MVP. A lot of guys are going to be neck and neck with Justin Herbert to win MVP. So can he win it? Yes. Will he win it? I'm not sure. Really, it's not for me. The final answer isn't whether or not Justin Herbert has the talent to win it. It's whether or not the Chargers will give him the weapons around him to win it. And therefore, that will determine my answer. Do I think, if I had to put money on the line, do I think he will win it this year? No. but I definitely think we could see Justin Herbert get 2 to 3 MVPs under his belt across his entire career, which is awesome to think about and look forward to. But for my answer, I think it'll be tough to win this year just because he's still young. And it's really going to be hard to see what the Chargers can put together and how great Brandon Staley is. I think they have high hopes, and I think they'll make the playoffs, but MVP is a little too soon in my opinion just because of the unknown variables of health and a new team. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, though, about Justin Herbert and the MVP and whether or not you guys will make the playoffs. But for the question of the day, the last time a Chargers player won MVP, the guy was LT, Daniel Thompson, in 2006, one of the best running backs of all time. Thanks for watching, guys. 2-1.